So one of the things that having an exhibition in a space like the High Lanes, one of the opportunities that gives you is the opportunity to see things in relation, to see things juxtaposed. And I think about my practice and I experience my practice very much within the context of ordinary life or everyday life. So ideas of familiar or familiarity are kind of, for me, connected through these everyday experiences. My practice over the years has been quite diverse, I suppose. At one point I was making moving image work, for example. I also kind of write a fair bit, but really the foundation of my practice is printmaking. When I started printmaking, things kind of clicked into place. Something about the procedural nature of printmaking, that there's a kind of logic to it. It was a logic that I could understand, and I just felt an affinity with it. And of course now I make drawings. Drawing and printmaking are naturally closely connected. My drawing is impacted by my experience as a printmaker, but also because in printmaking, the end result of the work is always at a distance from you. So you don't touch the print directly, as it were. But when the print is made, when the print appears on the press, there's a sense of it being detached from you, almost as though it could have been made by somebody else. And so with drawing, I think I've quite naturally brought those ideas into the process of drawing. Well, it's an autographic process, so it's a process where the hand ordinarily is very evident, and somebody looking at a drawing is part of the fascination, I think, of drawing is the sense of its closeness to the person who's made it. But in my drawing, actually, I kind of resist that autographic element. I make the drawings in very procedural ways, systematic ways. So I'm using pens and pencils and rulers and measuring devices, and I have a very particular approach to how the drawing is made. I think there's a tension, to me, an interesting tension between a process or a medium which is expressive and a methodology which is deliberately holding back that expressive element. I tend to make often groups of works. So in the show, there's a group of works which are called the variations. So this group of works basically employ a similar mark-making system and a similar configuration or similar compositional structure, but the color changes. You can see exactly how they've been made. There's nothing hidden in the drawing. So there'll be things I've made this year and things I've made in the last couple of years, but also things I've made 10 years ago and further back. And I'm curious to see what the relationship between those things is. The peculiarity of the space is really fascinating to me. You've got ornate stained glass windows, you've got an altar. I mean, churches by their nature are places of attention. My work doesn't contain any spiritual intention, but I like the idea that it can be situated in a space and in an architecture that has those resonances.